The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our hour to talk taxes and keep you abreast so that in the wonderful world of taxes, so that you know what to do so that you minimize your tax bite. And we're now in the last 2 months of the year, so you want to start thinking about making those moves that you need to make sure you minimize your tax liability. And as always, I'm joined in studio with Tiffany Fabian. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. And Christopher Fabian.
Hello, Esther.
Hey, Chris. Well, we had a great time today. We had this fall festival at our office for our employees and their children and grandchildren, and it was fun.
It was so good to see the kids. And I think, like you said, Esther, is that Halloween was sort of a bust around here weather-wise.
Yeah, it was.
And so it was good to see it played out in a safe, fun atmosphere. And the cake was delicious, and the candy was good, and the chili.
Oh, the chili was so bad. Oh,
it was so good.
Right. But anyway, we had a great time.
Bob, our IT guy.
He's
a
a
really
good cook. He's a great cook.
He's a really...
So that's what we did this morning. And again, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We have our final tax school of the year going to start next week, right, Chris?
Next Saturday. It's an abbreviated class, but it's a great class. We have great teachers. You just click on our website at egtax.com or go call us at 632-7886.
And Tammy will get you signed up.
And Tammy will get you signed up.
If anybody will do it, it's her.
And
All right.
we teach you from A to Z.
It's really a great class. And I'm going to tell you, if you just take it for your own use, it'll open your eyes to some things in the tax law you never thought was there. And so it's a great thing. You go to egtax.com to register. The other thing we're having, especially for you small business owners, realtors and investment people that have small businesses, if you're interested in how to reduce your overall tax liability, and you guys pay a lot, especially because you have to pay your own FICA, we're having a free seminar December the 7th?
Yep.
At our corporate headquarters, and we invite you. There's no charge. There's no obligation. And we have just teamed up with a benefits company that would really help you to save money on your tax liability. The average savings is like $5,000 by doing just a couple things, and we want to introduce you to that. So if you want to save money and you're a small business owner, you know somebody that's a small business owner, we're inviting you to come to our
seminar,
our business seminar.
Yes,
right?
it's a
and
great
is that on our website?
Yes.
That is on our
Yep.
website.
It's
Yep.
right at the top in the middle, or you can call 632-7886 to register as well.
Okay. And our phone number again, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. Our topic of today is to look at your finances. We're going to talk about kind of categories that things that you should do based upon that category. But before we start that, we're going to take some phone calls right out of the chute. And I got Linda. Hi, Linda. How can we help you, my dear?
Yeah, hi. I have a question about inheritance tax.
Okay.
My mom recently passed away, and I just want to know if any of the inheritance tax is taxable as income.
Okay.
Sorry to hear about your mom.
Yeah, we are sorry to hear about your mom. So there is inheritance tax, and then there is a tax you pay on the assets that the decedent had prior to them distributing it, and that's on a Form 1041.
706.
No. For the 1041.
That's the 1041 is the person's dead and making money. The 706 is
That's
the
what
estates.
I just said. I just said that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. No, the 706 is the inheritance. The tax that a decedent pays on their assets prior to being distributed is on a 1041. That's a fiduciary return. Now, most people will not pay an inheritance tax because you don't pay any taxes on the estate unless the estate is more than $11,400,000. Is your mom's estate more than $11 million?
No, but she does have an IRA.
Okay, so
Right.
the first part is she doesn't have any inheritance tax. Okay?
We can peel
the
that off.
second part would be any income that hasn't been distributed after her death. You're going to do a final return for her before it's distributed, which may include that IRA or interest from her investments, and that would be on the 1041. Now, were you the beneficiary?
There's 3 of us.
All right, so you guys are going to inherit Mom's IRA, correct?
Correct.
All right, so have you already received that money?
No.
Now, did you guys take the option of spreading it out over 5 years, or or over your life expectancy, or are you going to take it all at one lump sum?
We're not sure yet. It's only been 5 days, so we don't
Oh, she just passed.
pass. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Chris, you want to explain the difference between those 3 options?
Sure. Like Esther said, there's the 3 options. The first one is taking it all up front, where then, because it is an IRA, it would all be taxable on your tax return.
On your tax return.
Okay.
Okay. Or you can take it out over 5 years. Again, you got to look at how much is in there and what you're getting. And then the third option is to take it the rest of your life, annuitize it over your life.
Okay.
So you got to, do you know roughly what your 1/3 is going to be?
Of that, just of the IRA, between the 3 siblings, it's about $26,000 each.
Each?
Okay.
Yeah, so depending on your other income, it sounds pretty good to take it all up front, but are you on Social Security right now?
I'm not, but my husband is, but I am on essential care.
Okay, yep. See, so that could throw off your essential plan.
Right.
So
you want to be real careful. So really, all 3 of you need to look at your situations individually.
Yep.
And I can tell you also, you get to exclude $20,000 off of New York State, and you have
Collectively.
to split that among the people who are receiving the funds. So a portion goes to you. You get to exclude off of New York, a portion to your other sibling, and a portion, so a third get to exclude off of New York.
Right. So, but what we were talking about is being on the essential plan. The more income you make, that could make you ineligible for the essential plan. So you might want to give us a call. There's no charge. You can talk to Tim. He's our healthcare navigator in the office, and we can, kind of work up the numbers so that to make sure that you don't win on the right-hand side and lose on the left-hand side. Do you know what I mean?
Right, exactly, yep.
So our phone number is 632-7886. Tim is there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Chris, Tiffany, very happy to help you. But each one of you are going to look at it individually. Now, what else would you be inheriting besides the IRA?
There's a Vanguard brokerage account. There's also a bank account, which I'm joint with my was joint with my mom on that. And there's an annuity, but that will also already probably going to the state because her husband was in a nursing home. And he passed a year ago, but we had to sign that over to the state.
All right. So it looks like the Vanguard account, you guys weren't on that account prior to her passing, correct?
We were not, no.
So you're going to get a stepped-up basis. The fair market value of the Vanguard account on the date of her death 5 days ago is what your adjusted basis is going to be. So if you guys liquidate that pretty quickly, there's not going to be much of a gain on it. I know there was a gain in the market yesterday, but, the gain will be pretty minimal. But what you and your siblings need to do is to sit down and work it out, each one of you individually. But again, she won't have any inheritance tax. There might be a small estate tax due on the 1041 and her final return. So, okay?
All right.
Thanks, Linda.
Okay.
Sorry to hear about your mom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's so sad.
Yep.
But it's very. It's what happens in all of our life. We are here for a while and then we're gone.
Well, it's
right?
it's
and
also,
planning is so important. Yes,
yep, I was going to say it's a good thing they knew what Mom had.
That's true. And a lot of times people don't know,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Mike and our other phone calls after the break. Hi, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, and we are family. And we certainly want to help you. If you have any questions, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone, and you can text us at 3930. And we've had Mike who's been waiting. Hey, Mike, how can we help you, sir?
Hello, Esther.
Hey.
I got a question about my IRA.
Okay.
I retired back in April, and I wanted to know if I could still put the maximum amount in my IRA, and what is the maximum amount for this year?
How old are you?
65.
Okay. And how much did you make this year?
Oh, I'm guessing probably 50.
Were you covered by a qualified plan at work?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Were you covered by a qualified plan at work?
401k, yes.
Okay. And are you married?
No.
All right, so you're a single guy, so that's where he's not precluded there. So it sounds like you'd be able to put $6,500 into your IRA, unless you have other sources of income. Like, are you taking money out of a pension plan? Like did you start your pension plan?
I
Withdrawing?
started taking anything out of there yet.
All right, so basically you're looking at $50,000 in income, right? No Social Security?
Yes, I do collect Social Security.
But how much?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say $2,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
For how long? For 8 months?
Yes.
Okay, so part of that's going to be taxable, but you're still not going to be over the cap. So, yeah, you should be able to do the $6,500.
And you know what I would do, Mike, what a lot of my clients do is they wait until they file for 2019 and 2020, because you have until April 15th, 2020.
That way you're
to
sure.
earmark it for 19.
You don't want to make the contribution till you're actually sure that you aren't going to be precluded because your income's too high. It doesn't sound like you are, but Tiffany's right. You can still do that IRA contribution to your traditional IRA up till April the 15th or whatever the last day of filing season is next year. So put that in the back of your thinking cap, and you can do it up till April the 15th.
Now, what about my 401k? I can't put any more money into that, right? Because I stopped working.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's all I want.
All right, Mike. Thanks for waiting.
Enjoy your
Bye-bye.
retirement.
That's right. Being retired is a pretty cool thing.
That's so
I'm Esther
cool.
Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. You can text us at 3930. Okay, so we want to talk about things you should look for on your finances based upon your financial situation. Like, for instance, we had that harvest party for our staff, and we were talking to some of our staff, and one guy in particular says that he works in the mall, and he likes to talk to the mall walkers in the morning. And he said he'll say to them, "Have you filed a return?" They'll say, "Nah, I don't have to file. I don't make much." And he said invariably he'll say, "Gee, you work? How old are you? Under 65? Do you make a little money?" "Yeah, I make for like $5,000. Do you know you're entitled to an earned income credit?" "No, I didn't know that." But that's what, just because you have what you think is a simple situation doesn't mean that you aren't going to get an earned income credit, right?
That's right. Absolutely. You can get it up to the age of 65, even though you don't
25 to 65.
Yep, even though you don't have kids. A lot of people who think that they can't get earned income credit is because they don't have children or dependents, but you still can.
And your wages up to $12,000 are completely tax-free on the federal, right?
Yep.
But you got to watch it on New York State.
Right. Yeah, a single person on New York State is $8,000. So
Right.
But we just went over this with our basic class. Do these people have to file? And a lot of times these questions were no, but then we would say, well, wait, what if they
You
have
want to
federal
file.
withholding, and what about this? And so it is just because you're under that income threshold doesn't mean you don't have.
Right, and don't think, "Oh, I'm so simple, I don't have to file." There are all kinds of things in the tax law that you would get money back because you want to file, even though you don't have to file. Another thing is, a lot of times when you're single, you think, I don't need health insurance because there's no penalty this year. Isn't that true? There is no penalty. Right?
Correct.
But
you
What?
still want to get health insurance, there's lots of opportunities on the New York State marketplace. You might even be able to qualify for no-cost health insurance or the essential plan.
Which is $20 a month.
Yes. So just because there's no penalty, you want to open up your eyes and take off the blinders. There's lots of opportunities out there.
I mean, so just because you don't have a penalty for health insurance doesn't mean you should not get it. And if you're somebody that's leaner financially, you'd be surprised what the marketplace has available for you.
You know, even if you have children and you have no income, well, I'm not going to get anything back. But if your children are between the ages of 4 and 16, you will get $100 per child on New York State.
On New York State, right. So that's in there. And again, it simple things don't mean that you shouldn't pay attention to your taxes because there's stuff out there. The other thing is when you're single, many times young people, they are getting into student loan debt. And I will tell you, your daughter just graduated from college, right? And student loan debt all of a sudden is a big thing to her.
Yep, it really is really important because you are like, oh my God, the interest keeps going and growing, and so you have to. It's a debt you have to pay, and it sneaks up on you, I guess, is the bottom line.
You know, and like you said, it keeps growing. And how many adults do we say, oh well, I do, but I deferred it. I deferred it, and all they're doing is making the debt bigger and bigger.
Right?
Yep.
So and now you have another daughter that said, you know what, I'm going to stay home.
Right, she did, and she's having a great time. It keeps down your cost. It seems like, though, I talk to so many parents, and there's something about kids want to dorm and have that experience. I mean, we don't have any restrictions on Gracie. She comes and goes as she pleases, and she saves a lot of money by staying at home. And it's
but
seems like
you know,
a good
I think
plan.
the whole thing is having that adult conversation with your children and saying, let's not go into debt. Right?
Right. Yep.
And then the other thing is kids that are claimed on your tax return, they may not have much money, but they might have money in investments. What kind of a problem and you would think, my kid only has investment income. Grandma and grandpa's been putting stock in their name all these years, and all they have is like $3,000 in interest or dividends.
There's a potential kiddie tax, and that's what you got to look out for.
Right, and that gets, after $12,700, it gets taxed at 37%.
No longer at the parents' rate.
Right. And that's a big, it's the top rate.
Right. It's unbelievable how fast, and you think, well, that's not a lot to get through. But if grandma and grandpa did buy stock, and maybe they bought Apple stock back when it first started, and now you need that money for their college, and you sell it under their kid's name.
Or even if kids get scholarship money, that's taxed as a kiddie tax, which is at that 37% rate, which is really a noose around your neck.
Right, absolutely. So those are just some things that when you're single and you think, this is easy, not so easy. The other thing is if you have children and you think, well, I'm not working right now, I don't have to file a return. What I would suggest you do is look at least a part-time job because you need wages to get the earned income credit. Is this important?
Oh, if you want to get back a refund for about as much money as you make, you can make, $10,000, have 3 kids, and you'll walk out with about $14,000 between federal and New York State.
Of money you didn't pay in.
Right.
So think about it. You get a part-time job, and you make like $10,000. Then you file your tax return, and they give you $14,000 back. Does that sound like a deal to you? It sounds like a deal to me.
Yeah.
So here it is. The unemployment rate is, very good, and so everybody's looking for help. And I will tell you, a part-time job is maybe all you need to help you get that earned income credit, and you need this money before 12/31.
Right. So 2 months left.
Right. And the child tax credit, too. Right.
Which is now expanded. It used to be $1,000, now it's $2,000. And if you don't get all of the child tax credit, you might qualify for the additional child tax credit.
Which is more money in your pocket.
Not to mention New York State has the Empire State Child Tax Credit, and that's a really good advantage in your pocket too.
Right. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our text line is 3930. All right, so taxpayers with children, should they set up a pension plan at work?
Oh, yeah.
Because maybe they don't make much money. Should they set up a pension plan?
Yeah, you don't miss the money, and then if your employer matches a portion.
Perfect example, Tiff.
Yep.
It's free money.
Yeah, that's right. They match a portion. It's not your money, it's their money that they're matching a portion of. And the sad thing is that we live in a day and age where there's pension plans are a dying breed, and so you have to grow your own. And it's like those chickpea plants. What are those plants that you used to sprinkle the seeds on?
Chia pets?
Chia pets. You got to grow your own little chia pet. And so you really have to work on it, and it'll sneak up on you.
Well, I mean, if you don't plan on dying, a very good thing is, I mean, ultimately you will, but if you're going to retire, you better save some money.
Yeah.
And so if you got a retirement plan at work and you aren't in it, and and your employer would give you a match, you're basically throwing away money. The other thing is, if you work for a not-for-profit company and you have student loan debt, what's something that you should do on Monday?
You should call your student loan holders and tell them you want to enroll in the plan program where you can pay back based on your income. After 10 years, they'll forgive a portion of your debt.
We're going to talk
because you
about that
work
on
in
the
a
other side of
not-for-profit.
Mr. Gullius, the tax lady. We're going to break for news. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Our text line is 3930. Talking about things you should watch out if you are a newly married couple, and we were talking about the student loan debt. A lot of people do not know this, that if you work for a not-for-profit, and so you're thinking, I don't work for the Salvation Army. Oh, well, Erie County government, that's a not-for-profit. Hospitals are not-for-profit. If you work for a school system, that's a not-for-profit. So here you have this large student loan debt, and you think to yourself, I'm never going to get out from under. But after 10 years, if you work for a not-for-profit, the student loan debt is forgiven.
Right. Potentially. You have to pay the full amount that's required every month.
But many times it's minimum. It's based upon your income. Many people base it upon their income, right?
Some of those 10-year ones, though, you can't base it on your income. You have to pay the regular full amount. But there's lots of different options.
Right.
out there.
So who would you call? Nelnet?
They have to be federal loans, so you have to call the holder of your loans, Sally Mae, Nelnet.
And you say, hey, I'm working for Erie County.
Right.
And they go, okay, you got to make your payments. And after
They'll
10
tell you
years,
how much.
right.
They'll enroll you in the program. You have to be enrolled. There's so many people that I see that have been paying their student loans for
But
7
they never
years,
enrolled.
and they never enrolled. And
So
they're-
too bad,
yeah,
too sad.
Exactly.
And that's what's so sad. If you don't know and you don't do it, then you are shooting yourself in the foot.
That's right. Now, knowledge is power.
So if you're a mom and dad driving to church right now and you got a kid that's a teacher and they got student loans and they're complaining, make sure they do this, right?
Absolutely.
If they have student loan debt.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing is,
And then don't forget, you get to deduct up to $2,500
Of the
a
interest.
year as interest, as an adjustment to income. It affects both the federal and the state returns. So don't forget to include the income each year on your tax return that you pay as
the
student
deduction.
loans.
Yeah.
the adjustment.
And then another thing that young marrieds should think about is buying a house. You know, you can get all kinds of government programs, FHA. There's all kinds of other programs where you need a minimum down. And I know the housing market in Western New York has really gone crazy, which is great.
Yep.
But that's another thing you should put into your bag of tricks.
Right. I know a lot of young kids. Well, why should I buy a house? I can't deduct my mortgage interest and property taxes
single person
anymore
can't.
because of the higher standard deduction. But it's a great asset to have. You don't think about that. If you're renting and you're paying $700 a month rent, you have nothing to show for it.
That's right, but a rent receipt.
Yep. But you buy a house, the bank owns the house, quote unquote. It's your house, and you go to sell it, you'll be recouping your mortgage payment basically when you sell it because you get the sale price.
Right, plus appreciation. And if you live in it 2 out of 5 years, what happens to the gain?
None of it is taxable.
It's tax-free.
$250,000 for a single, $500,000 for a
So
married couple.
you get this house, you buy it, you live in it for 2 years, you sell it, make $100,000, tax-free.
Right.
But if you have rent receipts,
There's
Nothing.
nothing. You get nothing.
Right.
And that's another thing is buy a double.
Right.
These young kids, you may not be able to afford your dream house. Most of us can't right away. Buy a double. Let your tenant basically pay your mortgage for you. I mean, it's a great way to afford a house.
right, and you get the tax deduction on the rental
Yep.
portion. So even though the mortgage interest might not be deductible on your personal portion, on the rental portion, it's still fully deductible, the property taxes and the mortgage interest.
And there's so many clients. There's one of Esther's clients. He started off with one rental by UB, and now he's got numerous rentals by UB, and it's really become a really good investment for him.
Well, it's really interesting because when he bought those houses, they were like $45,000, and now they're worth like $250,000. So he had
Good
no
plan.
idea that he was going to be a gazillionaire, but he is.
Yeah.
Because you really have to be proactive about your own future.
Right. And you got to look out for yourself. Don't wait for Aunt Bertha to pass away because not everybody has an Aunt Bertha.
Right.
And you got to work for your money and
I'm going to tell you, if you can be self-employed, and rental property is probably the simplest self-employment that you can do, the asset is working for you and the tenant's paying the expenses, and it's a tax write-off.
That's very well said.
Well, thank you.
I thought that was
The
well
other thing is, young married people and everybody, check your credit. Check your credit score.
Yep.
Look at your credit score. You'd be surprised. Somebody might have put down something erroneous on your credit report, and you can protest it, send it in to the credit bureaus. If the creditor that had written the negative about you doesn't agree, it doesn't protest your protest, then it's taken off your credit report.
Yep. There's TransUnion and all those credit card companies. Credit watching companies, credit reporting agencies, they all have programs now where they'll actually help you to boost your credit score. And I have some clients that have used the TransUnion and the Equifax, and they've actually paid money and they've boosted their credit score, which is a really good tool.
And
because
that
your
that
credit is
helps
tied to
everything.
so
It
many
helps
different
you
things.
get better rates on car loans, home loans, and even your car
Insurance.
insurance.
Yep.
Yep,
Right?
that's right.
The other thing is,
a job. It can even impact your
that's
job.
true, because they'll check your credit before they give you a job many
Yep.
times. I know this sounds silly, but do a will.
Yep.
I mean, you something as simple as doing a will, even if you're young, you want to make sure that your assets go to whom you want them to go to, and make sure you do a will.
That's right.
Okay? And do 529 plans, especially if you have kids. Like, for instance, Grandma and Grandpa many times don't know what to get your kids anymore because your kids have every game known to man. And here we have Christmas time coming and everything. If Grandma and Grandpa put money into a 529 plan, that's great. Why?
Because then you get to use that money for college, and it's sitting there gaining and growing, and so the kids get to use it for college.
And it's tax-free.
And it's tax-free.
And a deductible on the state of New York.
That's right.
And when the income is
grandparents
used
or whoever put it
for
in.
qualified education expenses, then it's a tax-free. It's a deduction on the state. It's also tax-free. All the appreciation's tax-free on the federal and the state. So the 529 plan is a great way to fund your grandkids, right?
Yep.
And get the tax deduction.
And the person who gets to do the 529 is the grandkids. Of course, if the parents put the money in the 529, they would get to take it on the state of New York. So it's a really good tool. It's nice to take advantage of all these that you have in front of you.
All right, so moving on, taxpayers with older children. Well, the first thing I thought of is as you get a little older, really it's not just your finances you have to look at, but you have to look at kind of prevention.
Right.
And so you really have to take a stock about are you taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
One of the most expensive things that you can do is to get sick.
That's right, because then you're down and you can't work, you can't earn money, not to mention the bills that just keep piling up. And the fact is that you still have to pay your gas bill, your electric bills. The bills keep piling up, but you're sick and you're fighting this battle.
So, looking at are you healthy? Do you exercise? Are you drinking too much? Should you stop smoking? All these kind of things as we all age, those are all things that we have to do. And it becomes a financial decision because it becomes an expense you don't want to pay.
That is very well said. That's where health meets finances. Finances meet health, right?
Right. And believe me, it's expensive to be sick.
Yeah.
I mean, nursing homes are really expensive,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I mean, just even some prescriptions now are going through the roof. And
The reason I laugh is when they came up with health insurance, Obamacare, prescription costs went up, I feel.
oh yeah, prescriptions went, but it's the premiums, your deductibles. It's you have to plan, unfortunately, for a health emergency
Right.
because it could bankrupt you.
Right. And that's why I have a brother who has all kinds of health problems, and he smokes like 2 packs of cigarettes
then
a
you have
day. And I
another-
swear to God, he's attached to the bottle of Jack Daniels, and his health is just in shambles. Man, I got another brother,
Who spends 2 hours, 3 hours in a gym.
Exercising.
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it's a tale of two cities.
Yeah.
But I, love them both. But I'm going to tell you, my one brother that takes care of himself, he doesn't have the medical bills. My other brother is loaded with them, and so I know it becomes kind of a financial decision. But I'll tell you, that's one of those kind of things, like doing a will or planning for your future. Your health is
Yeah.
so important.
I struggle with food. I got to put duct tape over my mouth because it's so tempting and so hard. And so those vices, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and her healthy, I thought, husband passed away, and he had a massive heart attack. And it's just riveting with me. It's just sat with me because you just don't know when the jig is up. You got to take care of yourself.
You really do. Absolutely. And I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to save for your future. You don't have to watch your tax liability. You don't have to put money into your pension plan. You don't have to. But unfortunately, if you do, I think you're going to find out that in the long run, you did the best thing for you.
Right.
Right? I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930, and we got a call from Nick. Hey, Nick, how can we help you, sir?
Yes. Good afternoon to everybody.
Hey.
Let me just clear my throat here, but my first question is, I would like to be invited to next year's fall festival party.
We had a great time. I wished you would have
Well,
been
take
there.
our tax class and become a team member.
We had
Yeah.
a bonfire and candy.
We had a good time.
and
But yes,
costume
consider
parties.
yourself invited, Nick.
Consider that. So I'm a long-time customer. I've worked with Christopher for 15 years now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, too. So I just sort of put the radio on a few minutes ago, and you touched on a couple of things that I need to just talk to you about real quick. Number one, I'm 62. I don't have a will. And is that something that you guys do, or is that something you can recommend a lawyer for us?
Well, no, we don't do wills. You would talk to your
Dennis.
attorney. Dennis Kitchen is great. He's one of our advertisers and a personal friend, a client, and our attorney. And so is Jeffrey Katz. He's
they're
absolutely
both on
great
Main Street
in Clarence.
Dennis Kitchen.
But you can call us, Nick, on Monday. We'll give you their phone numbers.
My lovely wife, and we just never, and now I'm thinking about it again, and you guys came on the air and you mentioned it.
Well, now, Nick, I'm going to yell at you next year if you don't talk to a lawyer by then.
Yeah, I will see you.
And the other thing on our website, Nick, if you
Beneficiaries.
go to our website, we have this kind of
a depressing thing, but
But
it's
it's a pre-planning kind of thing where you'd be able to list where all your assets are, and it's really important. It's a great tool because if you're not there, you can't tell your kids where the stuff is.
Exactly. And
Okay.
young child. I mean, he will be 12 in a few days. So, those things bother me, and they're always in the back of my mind.
Well, then do it Monday, Nick.
Yeah, I think I need to do it right away.
Attaboy.
You guys do that. The other thing is, as Christopher knows, I have a small business. It's a business that deals with graphics companies, and I just recently bought a truck. I had to. And the truck was a very expensive truck. It's a box truck. And it was, close to $50,000, 40-something. And I remember I did this once before with you, Christopher. Do we break up the payments, or do we do half, or how does that work?
we took the special
Depreciate it.
depreciation of $25,000 up front and then depreciated the rest. And that's the bonus depreciation. That's something we can look at to see what, with your needs, with what everything is come next year, what's the best thing going to be for you.
But again, Nick, do you have an 1120S? Are you a corporation? Sole proprietorship?
I am a small proprietor. Yes.
All right, so you want to come to our free seminar on December the 7th because we have this great opportunity where we'll have an opportunity to meet with our business owners and say to them, okay, Nick, you got your box truck. We might want to do a 179. We might want to do the bonus depreciation. That's now 100%. On your box truck, but maybe you need to put some money into a pension plan. So come when you talk to us Monday about the attorney, come to the seminar, and there's no charge. We want to help you, and we want a tax plan before it's too late.
Okay, yeah, I did write it down, December 7th. So
Okay?
a day which will, of course, live in infamy.
That's true. You're right.
Okay. And,
Thanks, Nick.
and I don't have, real quick, I don't have a pension plan either. That's something we could talk
Well,
about.
that's
Definitely.
another thing.
Yeah, okay, great.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for
We're
calling.
going to talk about it at that seminar.
Yep. All right, and we're going to go to, I got to take a quick break. Matt, Julie, George, hang on. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, we are family. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady with Chris Fabian, Tiffany Fabian, and you guys, my family. And we're going to go to the phones. We're going to talk to Matt in Clearwater. Clearwater, like Florida?
Florida, yeah. I'm from West Seneca, but I'm down here not being in New York for 180 days.
What can we help you with, Matt?
I worked in Dubai for about 6 months, not 11 months, so I guess some of it's similar. What taxes will I pay on that? Just regular income tax, or is that the self-employment tax?
Worldwide income, you have to report.
You're taxed on worldwide income. However, there's a foreign earned income exclusion that you'll be able to avail yourself of potentially. So it all depends on how many days you were in. Did you have a did you have a home in Dubai, or were you just there temporarily?
Just there temporarily. So I think I wasn't there long enough for that exclusion.
Okay, so did they take taxes out on you?
No, not at all.
So what I'd suggest you do is, when are you coming back up north? Later?
81. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you call the office on Monday so we can talk to you about what your tax liability is going to be, so that you can prepay your taxes, so that you're not going to be stung come April.
Like, I was going to say, are you under the age of 70 and a half? You could put money into an IRA. Are you self-employed, and maybe you could do the health income exclusion for your wife? What were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say, now, do you have to pay taxes? I know they didn't withhold taxes. Do you have to pay any taxes to Dubai?
Matt?
Yeah, no, I don't have to pay any taxes.
All right, so
Okay,
Dubai,
so
there's no tax, because there'd be a foreign tax credit as well. So what I suggest you do is call. Our website is egtax.com. Call us Monday, then we can pick your brain and ask you questions that are a little more specific to your situation.
All right, great.
All right, thanks, Matt. Have fun in Clearwater. Okay, we got Julie. Hey, Julie, how can we help you?
Hi, Esther. Thanks for my call.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Do you know if seniors are going to get an increase in Social Security payments?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, it was announced a couple weeks ago, and I don't have it off the top of my head.
I can get it in a minute if you.
All right, so just
keep
hang on
talking
while Chris is going to look it up online for you, okay, Julie? But yes, there is an increase. And there's also going to be an increase in the health insurance portion, but the increase in the health insurance is not going to be larger than the increase that they're going to give
It's
you for your Social Security.
1.6%.
1.6%
That is
of your
COLA.
Social Security.
Yep.
of the total Social Security.
That'll
Right.
be your increase.
That gets added on to what we already get?
That's right.
Right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because it's crucial to know. I take money out of my savings account at the end of the year to meet expenses, and I'm on the cap. I have to keep under the cap for the EPIC.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I thought to call you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Julie. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So for every $1,000, it's an extra $16.
Which is
That's
something, right?
You have to focus on it.
All right, let's go back to Mr. George and Clarence. Hi, George. How can we help you, sir?
Hi, Esther. I'll be 70 and a half on March 15th of next year.
Okay.
When can I take out my RMD?
Well, you have to start taking it in the year that you turn 70 and a half. So in 2020 is going to be your first RMD if you elect to do it that way. However, you can push it off until April the 1st of 2021 if you choose to. And then before 12/31 of 2021, you would take a second distribution if you wanted to push it off.
If I didn't want to push it off, could I actually take that RMD prior to March 15th when I'll be 70 and a half?
Yes, you can, because that RMD is based on the fair market value of your IRA or whatever investment that you have to take it out of, based upon 12/31 of 2019.
And then don't forget, George, if you're a charitable kind of guy, you can actually take that IRA and roll it over to a qualified
charity.
501c3. And that way, because of course, when you take your RMD, don't forget more of your Social Security is going to become taxable.
Possibly.
So you really want to plan.
Right. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, George. Bye-bye. Okay, going back to
It's so
our list.
funny.
Yes, ma'am.
We had a client yesterday who they were doing their mom had gotten a letter that she didn't take out her RMD for about 10 or 12 years, and so the IRS will call you on it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, let's linger on that.
Yeah.
When you turn 70 and a half, you are required to take a minimum distribution from your pensions, annuities, and IRAs, because you are at that age where they say, we've waited long enough and we're going to make you start withdrawing even though you don't want to withdraw. Now, they don't like it when you don't withdraw, and the penalty is 50% of what you didn't take out.
Right.
Yep. It adds
So-
up. So if you were supposed to take out $10,000, that's a $5,000
And
penalty.
I got to tell you, I had a client who fell into this category, and so there's a form to try to preclude and remove the penalty. However, the IRS made us prove certain things like her medical. I mean, they're getting a little bit more difficult on waiving the penalty that's
well, because
imposed.
pretty much they have been very good about waiving the
Right.
penalty. But let's face it, they ain't nobody's fool,
Yeah.
right? And their job is to make sure to put teeth in the penalty. So you want to make sure that if you have a parent who is past the age of 70 and a half, if you are past the age of 70 and a half and you got an IRA or a pension plan that you haven't been taking money out because you say, I don't need the money. Well, you have to take the money anyway. Now, Tiffany was talking about this charitable rollover. If you're age 70 and a half and you have an RMD requirement, you can roll over up to $100,000 from your IRA or pension plan that you're taking the money from to a qualified charity, and that would make it tax-free to you. But you have to let the IRA company
direct.
know that you want to roll it directly to that charity.
Yeah, which is a cool tool.
All right? And then it makes it tax-free. But I'm going to tell you, think about it, because just because you got your IRA and you don't need the money doesn't mean you don't have to take it. You have to take it. other thing for people with older children, we talked about it before in the show. You can sell your home tax-free if your gain is less than $500,000 and you're married filing a joint return, or $250,000 and you're single. Think about that. That's remarkable.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, what a great way to make some tax-free income. People are always talking to me about, how do I do some tax-free income? Your home that you live in. So if you never have a home, then you can't do that, right?
That's why, gosh, my daughter in Chicago, she pays so much for rent, and it's just like cringe, You think about, it just goes out the window.
Right. And as you get older, you want to make sure that you maximize your contributions to your pension plan. It's no longer I'm going to put 3% away, 5% away, 8% away. It's now an elective deferral.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys want to explain that?
It's you can put in up to 18.5. Probably gone up to 19, but like around $19,000. It's not a 10%, like Esther was saying. You can just say, I want $700 a week coming out of my paycheck going into my.
Or let's say it's the end of the year and you say, you know what, I'm opening up my pension plan and I want to put $15,000 away. You can do that.
Right.
You know, you can do that. Now, you're saying, oh, well, great for you, Esther. You're telling me to put $15,000 away. But especially, like, let's say you have a windfall and you have some extra income coming in. You can just take that money and say, that's what I want to do. I want to make an elective deferral.
Like our first caller of the day had an inheritance coming.
Right.
She could have taken the full thing, but then offset that by putting the money in her 401k if she was still working.
Right. And the last thing I wanted to talk about with people as they're getting more mature, please make sure you have beneficiaries. I think Krista alluded to that before. Make sure you have beneficiaries listed on your IRAs and your investments, because that means upon your death it goes directly to them. And if you don't have a beneficiary listed on your IRA, then what happens is all those options that we talked about, taking it over 5 years or annuitizing it, goes away. And that would make your heirs take the whole thing, and it would penalize them. And so I guess the music is playing. That means Esther's got to shut up. So if you need the very best tax help during the week, give EG Tax a call at 632-7886. Visit our website at egtax.com. Until next week, thanks for listening. I'm Esther Gulius. Bye-bye.